Hey everyone, Fatty from Pack-a-Punch Traders here. Just going to go over my trade of the day as well as any lessons and go over the top plays for tomorrow. So let's get into the trade first off. TRKA. Play of the day was right out of the watch list. Where are we at? Oh, this is tomorrow's. But if you go back to yesterday's video lesson or the Twitter on watch was TRKA for a potential breakout, confirming around 48 to 50 cents. That whole region, there's some resistance. You can see here after hours around the other day, around 48, lined up with yesterday's high. And today we got to 50 cents, which lined up with the resistance on the daily chart back to when? Where were we at? Last September. So it held this whole zone, and we got patterns kind of stacked this morning. I saw it as an open price VWAP reclaim if it failed to break down in the morning, combined with the breakout level. So I saw this whole region around 47, 48, 50, just this whole area. If it could confirm it, whichever way it does, I would like to see that with some volume, and that's what happened. So the way I traded this, we got a nice little gap up, and we got some selling early on, not with insane volume behind it, and then we get a little fake out. And from here, it started looking interesting as it held up, started reclaiming VWAP, getting close to open price. And then I decided to smack 4,000 shares on the bump here as I saw volume for 2 minutes in a row start perking up. So looked pretty bullish to me. And at 48.35 was my entry, 4,000 shares. And from there, it was just adjusting risk reward, or the risk level rather. So at first was looking to risk off of 47, or I was willing at first to go day low, like just about 2 cents. So lined up with previous close, day low, roughly 2 cents, 5% or so. Saw it as good risk reward because next resistance area, as we mapped out in the video lesson yesterday, we're looking for it to test around 60. So just try to stay as patient as I could here through each dip. Just try to read the volume. Got some solid demand pushing it through, and then wanted to see the confirmation here. And after we got this hold and it started pushing into 52, 53, I knew I was going to get antsy and wanting to sell. So what I decided to do was put an advance order and step away. And I put my advance order at 57 cents. And I were to lose, if it were to come back, I had my stop at 50. If it were to break 50, it could end up holding 48, but I didn't want to risk it. So kept it with a tight stop instead of 46, brought it up to 50. So would walk away green no matter what on the trade. And it just kept making higher lows. And right around the time I was about to get a haircut, I see this thing just moving through. I get the alert. Very nice to see. And the reason I put 57 cents was because, as we always talk about when we're looking for it to hold, as I was mentioning here, we're looking at it as a zone, not a specific price level. So I knew getting into the high 50-cent area, it might have a hard time around 59, 60 cents. So instead of waiting around to see it possibly get there for a few extra cents that I would be gaining, I decided in case it gets stuffed, we know short sellers come in a little bit early before it starts reaching that next resistance area, because that resistance area is going to likely be their stop loss. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thinking behind putting my limit at 57 and ignoring it. So solid play out of this, ended up getting to 59 cents, right to the resistance area. So really nice to see how it played out. And really the cue for me today to tell was volume. Early on, pre-market, we had a little bit of a gap up. Volume was already about, if I remember correctly, 16 million about the time it was opening up. And we had strong volume overall throughout the day. Let's go to the 15-minute. So overall, strong upwards momentum with a lot of demand behind it. And when it does pull back, in this case, there was some strong selling, but it was still able to hold up, and that led to the squeeze past that after it held 52. So I ignored a lot of this. I was just sitting on the sidelines, not sitting on the sidelines. I was in it, but I was not paying attention to it. I knew if I were to see this up around 54, 55, I would just want to smack it and just get rid of it. But I tried to play the broader picture today. Um, didn't have insane amount of size, so was willing to let it ride a little bit. So that was kind of nice, a little bit out of character. I'm not usually this patient, um, but it had the volume. So in my mind, as long as this kept uptrending, we're gonna reach the next resistance level. So that was my thinking there. And then that was kind of it. There was some nice play gap ups. ONCS was one of them. Was looking at this for a possible dip buy style play after the incredible move higher from 1 all the way to 2.5, and then thought if we can fail to break down, show some bottoming, we can trigger a multi-day bounce style play. But it had other plans and could have adapted and played it as a previous high at daybreak, as we saw recently. That has been working out decently. We had CDIO after confirmed 4, took off for over 100%. Then there was LHDX, which, where was it? Right here. Boom. So after it had the massive gap up, failed to break down, came back, confirmed whatever level this is, around 60 cents, 70 cents. And then that moved on for the next day and a half to put, or we'll just call it a day, 100%. So if the volume is there, it can definitely make the move. As we can see here, solid demand this day. And really what CDIO and LHDX had that ONCS didn't have was that demand. It failed to really come through. At first, it had some lighter selling. Where are we at? Here we are. So early on, was looking at it as a hold of the 260s to come back for a open price VWAP claim, just stacking these levels together. And at first, it looked pretty good. We didn't have insane amount of selling pressure on the dip. Had a little bit of volume come through, and that was nice. But there was no follow through. Massive selling ended up coming through. Got stuffed around pre-market highs, right near the whole $1.50 level of 3. So this one held up for a moment, but it didn't have any follow through, and we can see here a lot of selling ends up coming through compared to, let's look at back at CDIO, where oops where when it fails to break down confirms 4. As you can see, there's not much selling pressure. When it does dip, you have this minute really that stands out, but besides that, it's just light selling pressure, and it continues to hold up. Buying props it up trends, and that leads to further squeezing. So that was really the difference in why ONCS didn't work out. And here we are having a nice little squeeze at the end of the day, but here we are failing. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how the day went. Just TRKA. I didn't really give the market much attention. Besides this, I didn't really see much out there. So yeah, that's that. Let's go over the top plays for tomorrow. We got LHDX still looking for a multi-day bounce. It's trying to hold up around 50 cents here. Had a nice bounce midday from, we'll call it 51 to 64, but here it is getting stuffed, trying to go lower and lower. We're not going to try and time the bottom. We'll see what it does. This is, I'm pretty sure, a biotech. No? Oh, I thought it was a biotech. Never mind. Well, that's encouraging a bit. Because usually biotechs are garbage and they need a lot of cash to run their business. So what you'll see is after a lot of run-ups, you'll have nasty offerings, just trying to get the financings for whatever they're trying to do, running trials and all their science crap. So LHDX still trying to hold around 50 cents, key level psychologically, way off of the highs. Had an incredible move. So sucked that this was missed. That definitely sucks. I was playing scared that day. Same deal with yesterday on CDIO, but glad to get TRKA today. But yeah, multi-day bounce on this. Just wait for shorts to lock in profits and dip buyers to come back in, prop it up, and that leads to some squeezing. BLBX also now a multi-day bounce. Was looking at this for a possible continuation today if it failed to break down, but no volume came through, and that is what I expected. But after a couple days of moving higher and failing to break down, I figured if just a bit of volume demand comes through, this could definitely squeeze. But that did not happen, and what we have is an incredible move from 60 cents to about 140, about 150%, and now we got a red day. Ideally fades more, but we'll see what we get out of this. Still, so far, not much selling, which I don't like to see. Makes me think this might hold up and come back for a breakout. I really like there to be massive selling on the multi-day bounce, as those shorts that are getting into that play are going to be the fuel for the move later on when they lock in their profits. So, a little concerning that this doesn't have much volume behind its red day, but we'll see how it works out. Maybe we adapt and we miss it and we end up playing it as a breakout. But for now, let it fade, let it do its thing. Just look for bottoming action, that high day break we always talk about, to trigger the multi-day bounce. Then we got OBSV. Oh, wow. Okay. That's annoying. So there goes the play I wanted on the breakout over 15 cents, and it rips 100%. And I did not even notice this. Last time I saw this, it was holding 1308 right here. Wow. Oh, wow, that is so annoying. That could have been a nice play. Alrighty, well, I guess now let this do its thing. The higher the better. We'll just wait for a multi-day bounce when this hits the backside. Okay, let's just get rid of that now. I was really excited for that play to set up. Okay, TIVC, I guess. Looking for that breakout over 25 cents. Volume building up. Solid bottoming action here. Double bottom around 19, 20 cents. Low float play, which is nice to see. So let's see if we can get the volume required to burst higher. Shouldn't need a whole ton. But we'll judge the price action and how it acts tomorrow if it has the volume needed. But looking for that 25-cent area to hold. Just looking for a push to test 30 cents. I know we usually look for a gap fill, but I'm not trying to call a play going 80%. So we'll see what we get out of this. But 25% hold will be key with some demand behind it. Okay. Wow. I'm just kind of speechless right now. So we'll just wrap it up. Hope everyone had a good day, learned something, made some money. Maybe you guys nailed OBSV. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, here we are. Solid demand on the push higher, showing some strength and force behind the buyers. And when we get that fade and hold, not much selling pressure. And then